You ever seen something online that just makes you pause and go, wait, is this real life or a glitch in the matrix? Because Stephanie Jenkins leaking a sweat soaked that brown hat and calling it content might just be that moment. But hold on, because that was only the start. What followed was a spiral of motel messiness, passive aggressive shade from Drew, and a whole lot of performative chaos that honestly feels like a reality show with no producers. Today, we are peeling back the layers of the resilient drinking situation. From the eyebrow raising hat video to the not so subtle breakdowns happening behind the scenes. And then we'll dive into the emotional roller coaster that is Dakota and Felicity's relationship. Toxic love, betrayal, hospitals, homelessness. It's all in there. Buckle up because this one is less TikTok drama and more like a cautionary tale unraveling in real time. Stephanie Jenkins, aka Resilient Jenkins, is a TikTok mom with a large platform. She lives in a motel room with her partner Drew and several kids while making daily content. Her parenting has been criticized for being unsafe, chaotic, and sometimes outright disturbing. She recently posted a video leaking a filthy hat in a supposed deep cleaning tutorial, raising more concerns. Meanwhile, Jew exposed just how unclean and neglected their living situation is. Elsewhere on TikTok, Dakota, a young man with dwarfism, and his girlfriend Felicity are caught in a toxic cycle of homelessness, manipulation, and now medical emergency. Here's the problem we're unpacking. When people start monetizing their instability and their content spirals into neglect and harm, who is really paying the price? Let's rewind because the unraveling of Resilient Jenkins didn't just happen overnight. It started with a hat. Yep. One nasty, brown stained, crusty hat that was supposed to showcase her deep cleaning skills. Instead, it exposed more than just dirt. So here comes Stephanie, proudly presenting Drew's Nike cap to the camera like it's the centerpiece of a restoration miracle.
It's been a while since I've done one of my deep clean videos, so let's take my man's hat and deep clean it. First, let me lick off all this sweat. Just playing.
But bestie, when I say this hat was gone, the swoosh wasn't even swooshing anymore. It was brown, bent, and looked like it had survived a war. And yet, she told her followers she was going to deep clean it. Fine, okay. I braced myself for some scrubbing ASMR. But then, she did what no one, absolutely no one, was ready for. She licked it. Tongue on hat. And not just a fake little joke lick. She pressed her actual tongue on this sweat-drenched, bacteria-marinating fabric and said she was licking off the sweat.
It's been a while since I've done one of my deep clean videos, so let's take my man's hat and deep clean it. First, let me lick off all this sweat.
Then had the nerve to say she was just playing. But girl, nobody was laughing. Not when your eyes looked glassy. Your vibe was off, and the whole thing felt like it was filmed during a 3 a.m. mental spiral. I mean, at this point, viewers weren't concerned about the cleaning. They were concerned about you. The comment section was full of people trying to figure out if this was real or if she was just trolling. But the sad part, it felt all too genuine. And then came the actual cleaning part. She soaked that hat for 3 hours, and yo, the water was still black. Stephanie admitted she only decided to clean it because Drew said it had started making his head itch. That's how bad it was.
What I did was, I thought I had some vinegar on hand, but I actually didn't, so I just soaked it in some vinegar. Oh, bitch, you just said you didn't have vinegar. I soaked it with some baking soda and some dish soap. Y'all, check out what the baking soda did when I put it in there. What in the fuck? Baking soda was like, yeah, you're gonna need something a little stronger than I can do, but I added some dish soap because that'll do it, right? Dish soap has never failed me when it comes to trying to decrease something and get all the stains out, so that's what I was using. And you can see this water was immediately changing colors. I let that soak for about an hour, just playing. I wish it was about an hour. It was more like 3 hours because that's when I got back to it. Now, if you watch my man's videos and you watch my videos, you know my man wears this hat pretty much every day, all day, so you can expect some buildup. And I do believe this is the first, maybe the second time I'm watching it, but yeah, it hasn't been that many times. I feel like maybe I've mentioned this in one of my videos like a long time ago, but I like deep cleaning stuff like this. I like the process of the big nasty part, you know? Especially when it comes to like those carpet cleaning videos. I could watch carpet cleaning videos for far too long, okay? Okay, so after the first soak, I rinsed it off pretty good. I rinsed it quite a few times before I did a second soak. And then with the second soak, I added some laundry detergent and fabric softener, and then I let that soak for another couple hours. So prior to me cleaning this hat, Drew had mentioned that the inside of the hat was starting to make him like kind of itchy while he was at work, so I really wanted to focus on scrubbing the crap out of that. So yeah, after that second soak, I rinsed it again, and then I went in with some dish soap, and this is a new sponge that I used just for this activity. And yes, I have clean sponges for the dishes too. I didn't just buy them for the hat. Oh my god. Y'all, I really did just say this is like the third freaking soak, and it's still coming out like this when I dumped the water out. It was not good enough for me. So I went in again. And like I said, I really focused on the inside because that's the part that's gonna go back on his noggin. So yeah, I wanted to make sure it was nice and clean. If y'all love these deep cleaning videos, please let me know because I do try to do them as often as I can. I try to post as often as I can. I really do. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye now.
The man's scalp was sounding the alarm before she even noticed the filth. But the worst part? It wasn't the hat. It was where she cleaned it. She put it in the same dishwasher she uses to clean her kids' plates and cups. You had me. She dumped that disease-ridden, scalp-itching cup right where she washes baby spoons, then placed the whole operation on the floor of the motel bathtub like it was a spa day for grime. And to top it all off, she used hot water. Anyone with a brain cell and access to Google knows hot water is the worst choice for hats. It shrinks them, fades them, and messes up the structure. But Stephanie, she was just out here freestyling with her cleaning methods like she was on Chopped. And after traumatizing the internet with that bacteria bath, she had the audacity to end the video asking if people wanted to see more deep cleaning content. Babe, if that was a deep clean, I don't want to know what your version of surface level looks like. This wasn't a tutorial. It was a cautionary tale. A cry for help hiding behind an Instagram filter and a bottle of bleach. And honestly, it set the tone for everything that came after. And this is the moment where everything shifted. The mask slipped. Not because Stephanie confessed anything, but because Drew, unintentionally or not, told the truth with his actions. And y'all, it was loud. So picture this. It's right after Halloween. The motel is trashed. The kids are confined to one corner of the bed like it's based during a game of emotional dodgeball, and Drew comes home from a DoorDash shift and just starts clean. No big announcement, no performative, look at me being a good dad moment. Just him, picking up the chaos piece by piece. Now, that alone wouldn't have been newsworthy, but it was the caption that dropped jaws. He wrote, Halloween was fun but rainy. Had to clean it up. Babe said she was gonna do it a few days ago, but sometimes these babies be all over the place. Excuse me? Babe said she was gonna do it days ago? The same babe who's always on TikTok talking about how she cleans 3 times a day like it's a personality trait? Jude didn't even shade her directly. He just told the truth. And honestly, that stung more. He basically said, Hey, she said she'd do it. Didn't happen, so I did. Again. Meanwhile, Stephanie had been lounging in that one-bedroom hotel all day, every day, filming herself for TikTok, talking about deep cleaning and motherhood like she's Maria Kondo in distress. And yet, here was Drew, the man with an actual job outside that cramped room, doing the dishes, folding blankets, restoring some sense of sanity. Let's call it what it is. Drew spilled without even trying. His caption was the softest drug, but it hit the hardest because it wasn't a clapback, it wasn't a rant, it was just the facts. Stephanie had let things fall apart, and the person the internet usually loves to clown stepped up. So, plain English, even Drew is quietly pulling the curtain back. And what we are seeing isn't just dust and dishes. It's a woman saying one thing online and doing something entirely different behind closed doors. And if Drew's tired, you know the rest of us are too. So what does that tell us? Let me break it down like we are on FaceTime because there are some real possibilities here. I know nobody wants to jump to conclusions, and I'm definitely not here to diagnose. But let's be real. Some of her recent behavior, it's not giving sober mom on a rough day. It's giving full-blown, why are you leaking that hot energy? People have pointed out the glassy eyes, the random mood swings, the weird choices that don't seem like someone who's fully present. And the way she kind of slurs or rumbles in some of her voiceovers? Again, not proof, but it makes people talk. And if she's struggling behind the scenes with something heavier, then the last place she needs to be is TikTok Live. That platform can be brutal, and it doesn't care if you're spiraling. It just wants the next viral moment. Now, this one, whew, it hurts to say, but a lot of us have seen this coming. When someone constantly makes content about their trauma, their chaos, their kids' every move, and it starts to feel less like a lifestyle and more like a brand, that's when you start asking, is this real life or is this scripted dysfunction? Licking that nasty hat, sharing messy motel videos, responding to criticism in bizarre ways. It's all giving algorithm bait. Like she's clocking in, not cleaning up. And honestly, that's where things cross the line. Because now it's not just messy, it's exploitative. Especially when you have children involved who can't consent to any of this. Okay, let's pause for a second and remember. Stephanie is a mom living in a cramped motel room with multiple kids and zero breathing room. Imagine trying to parent, clean, cook, film, post, and deal with the internet's constant judgment all in one room. That alone would put a lot of people into burnout. So maybe, just maybe, she's not a monster. Maybe she's drowning. And instead of asking for help, she's hiding behind content. Because likes feel like support, comments feel like validation, and TikTok becomes your comfort zone, even when it's toxic. But here's the thing, if that's what's going on, then she needs real help. Not filters, not views, and definitely not another deep cleaning video. She needs community, resources, a break. So where we are now is confused, concerned, and just trying to understand how someone with so much chaos still finds time to post every day. And no matter which theory you believe, one thing is clear. The kids deserve better, and Stephanie needs a wake-up call. Here's the part that's hardest to say out loud, but we need to be real. The people suffering the most in all of this aren't Stephanie or Drew. It's the kids. Period. Those kids spent Halloween in a cramped motel room. No yard, no space, no normalcy. Just candy in a corner of chaos while the mom filmed heart-licking content and their dad cleaned up the aftermath. And now the question on everyone's mind is, are they about to spend Christmas in that same motel? Will they be unwrapping dollar store presents while sleeping in their cots again? Because, let's be honest, Stephanie doesn't look like she's trying to change their situation. She looks busy curating chaos for TikTok. And don't get me started on Drew. He's not perfect. Far from it. But at least he's clocking into DoorDash shifts, coming home and cleaning, and whether he realizes it or not, showing us what Stephanie refuses to say. That she's not stepping up, that she's letting it all fall on him while she films and posts and pretends like it's content instead of crisis. What people are really asking now is, if this is what she's choosing to show us, what's going on when the camera isn't rolling? If she feels comfortable posting dishes, piled in sinks, kids sleeping in disarray, and jokes about cleaning filth, what's happening behind the scenes? What aren't we seeing? Because this isn't just messy content. This is a documented environment of instability. This is kids being filmed through every low moment. This is their actual childhood, broadcast in real time, while nobody steps in to fix the mess. And yeah, we laugh, we roast, we comment. But underneath it all, we're watching a family fall apart and kids learning that going viral matters more than being safe. That is the real fallout. That is what is at stake. Now, let's shift gears to a different but equally devastating story. The ongoing chaos between Dakota and Felicity. Recently, Felicity was hospitalized with a sudden kidney issue. It started as a UTI, escalated into a kidney infection, and eventually became sepsis, which, if untreated, can be deadly. Luckily, doctors caught it early, and she began receiving treatment, including 2 blood transfusions.
All right, I'm just giving you guys an update before I go celebrate Halloween with my nieces and nephew. Don't mind the fit, I'm still getting ready. But basically, I just wanted to let you guys know that I do have a little bit of an update about Felicity and her hospital situation. So she has had 2 blood transfusions, which is not good. If anybody knows anything about medical, having to get a blood transfusion is pretty bad. And I know a lot of you guys are still thinking that this isn't serious. They don't just give you a blood transfusion for no reason. They give it to you only when you seriously need it. And she will also be held at the hospital through the weekend. They will not be discharging her at least until Monday. It could be longer right now. Again, it's still just a waiting game. And I also want to address again that I will not be tolerating any nasty or disgusting comments about Felicity and how you guys saying anything along the lines of like good or you wish she would unalive or anything like that. That's not okay. She's a human being. You may not like her, you may not agree with her, but that does not mean she deserves to lose her life. And the comments about it are really gross and they're disgusting, and you will be blocked if I continue to see them. Again, have some empathy, have some compassion. She's literally in there fighting for her life. And you guys hate that I keep saying that she's fighting for her life, but literally she's in there fighting for her life right now. She had sepsis and she's needed 2 blood transfusions. That's pretty freaking serious, you guys. But anyways, happy Halloween. I'll let you guys know if I know anything else.
Meanwhile, Dakota, her on-again, off-again boyfriend, hasn't left her side. Their friend and caretaker, Corsell, posted an update. Felicity's been in the hospital. Dakota hasn't left her side the whole time. If you're new, Dakota is a 23-year-old with dwarfism who was abandoned by his family. Corsell found him homeless and helped turn his life around. getting him into a motel, then an apartment, and offering emotional support along the way. Everything was looking up. Then came Felicity. She's manipulated him, cheated on him with her exes, gotten police called to his apartment, and was even banned from the property after repeated disturbances. At one point, they both chose to become homeless so they could stay together since she couldn't live at his place. Corsell, hot but loyal, still paid for them to live in a motel. And now that she's hospitalized, people are wondering if this will finally wake Dakota up or pull him deeper into the cycle. Felicity always seems to come back when she needs something, and Dakota, despite everything, keeps letting her. So where we are now is Felicity is getting care. Dakota is emotionally tied to her. Corsell is trying to help. But no one knows if this is the beginning of healing or just another chapter in the same toxic story. My verdict? Stephanie is unraveling publicly, and her kids are living through it. Dakota is stuck in a toxic loop he can't escape. And Felicity, well, she might be sick, but she's also part of the case that keeps dragging them all down. What do you think? Is Felicity manipulating Dakota again? Should Stephanie take a break from content and focus on rebuilding her life offline? Drop your thoughts below, and if you want more updates on these ongoing sagas, hit that like and subscribe because something tells me this isn't the end.